Part 2, let's go. Kaoh Rong's tribal immunity is at 20. I like this ancient leader, and the pose adds a lot of personality to the piece, giving me major Shay vibes from Blood vs. Water. Shay, did you copy the Kaoh Rong immunity? You poser. I love the details on the bottom block, and the bulls are fantastic as well, although I give minus points for this horn randomly being torn half off. While the blue and red items on the individual are nice touches, the addition of another colour on the body would have helped set it apart from the block. At 19 we have Gamechangers.
This is the immunity idol.
Definitely one of the most unique tribal immunities, which I credit the creators for. It has a very prevalent theme, with it looking like an ancient diving helmet. Plus, I give it credit for retaining a washed out look to give it the effect that this helmet was recovered after being submerged underwater. However, unlike prior tribal immunities that try this, the combination of gold, bronze and green provides variation. That being said, this piece looks very clunky and uncomfortable for tribe members to carry, as well as the fact I don't get its significance. Like, what does this scuba helmet offer apart from giving us, as the viewer, to search the depths of the ocean as to why on earth Sierra Don Thomas is a game changer? 18th place goes to Panama. Whoa, those are scary. Like, are these your mortal enemies, Jeff? I think I can make out JP. I think that one's Courtney Yates. And hey, this one looks like me when I watch Survivor 41. All jokes aside, these heads are incredible, as even an idiot like me can recognise the individuals as victims of Panamanian torture, while also representing the consistent ideology of speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. That being said, I would have liked them to be bigger, since at the end of the day they are too small in my opinion for tribal immunity, and there is nothing to differentiate the first, second and third place finishers. It would have been interesting to see the head at the bottom be bigger for first place, and then smaller heads on the way up like a selected tower, hashtag not a sponsor. And even if they were, I doubt they would want to be sponsored over this nightmare fuel. At 17th place, we have these lovely sculptures in HHH that are incredibly detailed. Probably too detailed. Like, I'm really considering taking the time out of my day to blur a certain part of the sculpture, so another one of my videos don't end up in a tease playlist. True story. There's a lot to like about these sculptures, a differing size making it more of a reward for first place finishers, and I like the differentiating colours between the two figures. I wish that the big girl, that phrase felt weird, had the same shell the smaller one did, as it's just the same colour overall. Overall, I like these two ladies. Probably not as much as Patrick, however, who seems to have been put in some fantastical coma, but to each their own. Island of the Idols is at 16, and while this thing is cool by itself, it gets most of its appeal because of the season. This features two Easter Island-esque heads, clearly modelled off the Island of the Idol heads, which are modelled off Sandra and Rob, who covertly lived on an island during the season. It's a cheeky reference, so good job Survivor. The bamboo structure might also be a reference to the eventual 100-foot mansion Rob makes. Still to this day I don't know how he did that, although ultimately it's just some rock heads on bamboo. 10 out of 10 for theme, design, not so much. Ghost Island takes the 15th spot with its attempt of a rook. Ironic considering everyone in the game could only move up and down around Wendell and Dom as they dominated the game like queens in chess with nobody to oppose them. Where was I? So tribal immunity looks great, and something I like about it is how it is complemented by the pole beneath it, giving that feel that Jeff is pulling the top of a totem pole off when handing to the winning tribe. I like the skull imagery on top. The faces are weird but less creepy than others we've had, but again, introducing another colour or two would have helped define it a lot more. From wood to stone, at 14 we have San Juan Del Sur. I must say this is incredibly well made, with so much incredible detail put into the bangles and headdress. The pose is also great. With that said, however, the eyes being hollow is just plain terrifying, as I assume this figure looked at the sun for too long and lost their eyesight. I might have to follow suit the next time I'm rewatching Island of the Idols and expecting a Dan Spilo scene, because yeah. Rounding out the teams, we have Nicaragua's tribal immunity, consisting of what looks like this Englishman gripping a sword. This is a fantastic design, with the armour looking really sharp, with the gold highlights giving it a lot. I also like the possessed burning effect surrounding the sword, and abandoned pieces of arm, which is terrifying. While it is cool, the tribal immunity doesn't represent the season as much as I would want. Perhaps it's what Dan would have done to Holly while stealing his shoes if she was a man.
Stole my shoes. She stole them.
I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
If she were a guy, I would have knocked her right out.
Who knows? At 12 we have Cagayan with some really cool tiger-goblin hybrids. I like the poses and personality that strikes you instantly, as well as the fact it's easily distinguishable between first and second place. Plus the detail, I mean, my goodness, like there's so much detail in this tiger's crown than the entirety of Micronesia's tribal immunity with the soul sucked out of it. Great tribal immunity. I just wish that the brains versus brawn versus beauty theme was more prevalent, which was quite a letdown. And on the topic of letdown, just look at Morgan. Everyone else is excited about the tribal immunities, and this girl is still trying to remember the name of the show she's on. Just flirting with the top 10, we have Samoa's tribal immunity at 11. This is the lowest ranked of the weapons, mainly due to the confusing skull pattern with the string, but everything apart from that is a home run. I love the spear weapon, the bones surrounding it, and just the general details. If I was a chef, I'd be giving this weapon kisses. Perhaps I also have a personal bias, as this episode contains one of the most satisfying moments where Ben is making fun of the opposing tribe, only to get his ass whipped. Roll the footage.
Russell, how you feeling about your tribe?
Best group of people I could ever meet. Everybody tough as nails.
Jeff, I've never read that book. Things losers say.
Are you sure about that?
Kicking off the top 10, we have Guatemala's tribal immunity. There's really nothing much to knock it for, as once again the washed out colours make it look more ancient, as if production literally nabbed it from a Guatemalan temple. Did you, production? Did you steal it? But I like the pose with the arms and legs crossed over one another. The headdress is fantastic. I love the marble look too. It's a pretty solid design, although I'd like more detail in the lower half, as outside of the bangles there isn't anything to contrast the rock. At number 9 we have All Stars, and despite being the first 3 tribe season of the franchise, thus meaning they have to make 2 tribal immunities, they knocked this one out of the park. It has this fun man overcoming nature aesthetic to it, with a figurine riding on this cute little fish wheel thing. Or, if you don't see it that way, you can see it as a reference to Richard Hatch brawling with a shark as part of the Survivor boxing undercard. Nonetheless, the fact it's stuck together with a bung in the wheel's blowhole is also a really unique touch. I also like the colours, giving off major antique vibes. That being said, both the little man and fish do look odd, particularly with the eyes, and the fish looks like a Digimon. Winners at War takes the 8th spot with its skull. I like the several colours used to make this skull poppin' design. The tokens in the eyes are a fun reference to one of the season's main twists and fire tokens. And again, if you're going to be doing a tribal immunity, either relate it to the season theme or island, and I appreciate Survivor 40 chooses the former. That being said, it was risky putting such an item on the season, with Adam Klein considering he tore up an entire voting podium for a potential idol.
Damn. Nothing, huh?
Like, production probably had to make 2 of these, because Adam likely tried to gouge the eyes out of the first one for fire tokens. At 7th we have Fiji, which although the weapon is cool, it is over-engineered in my opinion. I know, after ripping several designs to shreds for lacking detail, but this one has about 100 more bones stuck on it than necessary. That being said, It is extremely badass, and again I love tribal immunities that are these weapons because they have so much personality and theme to them. Really cool to me, but some features need toned down. Taking 7th place is a season I really don't like, but I'm going to have to give it its credit.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
I have to admit, this tribal immunity is amazing. So many tribal immunities are wooden or cloth, but this one has the sandstone aesthetic, which I really dig. It allows the bangles and the paint around the face to stand out a lot more. The fact it's wearing a lion on the head that's eating its owner is just hilarious to me. And again, the fact that details are painted on rather than carved make it pop slightly more. That being said, I wish the hands and lion had a little more detail, and it doesn't have as much significance with the season as I'd like it to. Unless you assume the lion is Boston Rob, and the figurine is literally everyone else. 5th goes to Edge of Extinction, and come on, it's a freaking dragon. How can I not rank this highly? Again, like what I covered in the last episode, it's giving me major Pokemon flashbacks to the black and white gym dragon. It's just incredibly detailed, and the rusted look makes it stand out so well. You can just see all the effort that went into designing the face and scale patterns, and the golden orb just stands out in a fantastic way. Amazing design, but unlike the final 3, I still don't get how this dragon relates to the Edge of Extinction theme. In 4th place, wow, I mean this thing is insane. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have an ancient Chinese military leader statuette as a tribal immunity of Season 15. China. It doesn't hit the nail on the head more than that. This one has a personal attachment for me, as someone, albeit in the early stages, who studies Chinese. So, little man, Zhao Shenghao Ni Hao Ma. Zaijian? Okay, I'm really impressed with this tribal immunity, and the only thing I can really knock it for is potentially adding another colour to the design, as the colour palette is rather one note. Maybe some silver to the arms? But yeah, whoever made this should be proud of themselves. And 3rd, it's the most recent of the tribal immunities, S1-42 and its Ouroboros. Now innately, I love the Ouroboros concept and feel it relates well to the season. Like if you're going to brand a season as being the toughest element wise, as well as amplifying the hunger, this is how you do it in a tribal immunity form. Make it a mythological snake that eats itself out of perpetual hunger. The gold and bronze touches on the snake are excellent. Like, just look at the detail on the scales and the bottom rocks. I mean, these rocks have more personality than half of the Gamechangers cast. That being said, while the idea of the snake matches an ideology perpetuated by the season, the final 2 relate to the literal location their season is set in, and so beat this one out. Taking silver at number 2, we have Cambodia's tribal immunity. I mean, this is a work of art. When Spencer and Cass and Savage get excited for something, you know it's good. Nonetheless, I enjoy the elegant aesthetic with a clear Cambodian theme to this piece. And can I just pat the decorators on the back for the red and gold tinges, creating this really beautiful royal quality aesthetic. But at number 1, I've already mentioned I like weapons, and taking gold we have the Pearl Islands tribal immunity. I mean, this thing has the pirate theme on deck, pun not intended, with a skull on top and overall weaponry. I love the pirate theme, the design is incredible again. For me, this is a home run. It's just a shame they give it to Rupert.
Who the hell voted for me? John?
Yeah,
Who the hell voted for me?
I did.
What the was that tonight?
I was ready to kill John. Literally. Grab that little scrawny ass by the neck and pop his head off him like a chicken.
I don't claim to be a genius, but giving a war axe to a man that threatens to rip another individual's head off probably violates ethical boundaries. But that was my ranking. How did you feel? If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and then subscribe, because that always helps out on the channel on the way to 500 subscribers. But thanks for watching all, and peace!